we are doing a multitude of things to attract a wide variety of players, and that includes anyone from low stakes or recreational players to professional level players. The idea is to make the site attractive and appealing to virtually anybody.
I'm curious, by the way, does poker being on the blockchain in this case help the facilitation of some high stakes action?
I hope so. I mean, and I want to be clear, the poker itself is not on the blockchain. So like the game state engine, um,
The deposits and all that.
yeah. So really, like money transfers are on the blockchain, and I think that that will help high stakes action because a lot of high stakes players are very interested in the crypto community already. There's a lot of inherent overlap between crypto and regular high stakes poker players. So things like instant fund settlement and no deposit delays, withdrawal delays, things like that's very appealing to someone who plays poker regularly and is already used to moving money electronically. I think I personally believe that we're in the early stages of a crypto bull run right now. I also think we're in the early stages of a new poker boom. So I think that it's very natural for that to carry over online. I just think that there's a lot of distrust in the online operators right now. So we're not seeing the same boom online that we're seeing live. You see WPT Prime and WPT events and um, WSOP events. You see a lot of these live venues doing super well in terms of breaking attendance records, smashing guarantees, doing all these things, and you're not really seeing that same level of excitement carry over online yet. I think that could change. I think that there is an operator that people trusted and was spreading the games that people really wanted and was putting the things in place to make people feel safe in playing and being able to get money on time and things like that. I think that could change. I think you could see a lot more. And keep in mind, when we saw the poker boom the last time, a lot of that was fueled by online, by people
Hmm.
being able to satellite into WSOP events and people being able to build bankrolls starting at the smallest of stakes. Myself, I was part of that. I started with a $40
Myself
player
too.
transfer. Yeah, my brother
Yeah.
transferred me $40 because my debit card wouldn't work, and that's what ended up spawning my whole online career. So I think it could be very healthy for the game if we can carry some of that excitement around poker and the new generation wanting to come and play. And keep in mind, online poker skews younger, right? I think 40% of the online poker demographic is between 18 and 25. A lot of the people in that age group are already interested and or using crypto. So, you know, part of Phenom Poker is we're betting that crypto adoption is going to continue to increase. Our addressable market is going to continue to get bigger and bigger, and we think that the point in time will come where it's completely normal to the everyday person to use crypto to transact. And when that comes, our addressable market will be virtually anyone who wants to play poker.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I think it's definitely possible. I definitely think that a lot of, based off what I heard, it feels like a lot of people are afraid of online because of a lot of the cheating and a lot of, I mean, it's a lot of like super pros playing too. I mean, it's like a bit of like the competitive aspect of it. I do think mixed games has some potential. Like Crash was going on for quite a while. High stakes might have some potential as well if you could get that running, because no one else really can, I guess, other than like GG. Um,
Yeah, I mean, we
yeah,
want to spread everything from 5 cent, 10 cent up to the biggest of stakes. As big as you guys want to play, we'll spread it. And you know, we're not just like going out there blind. We're actually talking with so everyone involved with the site, from the operating team to the ambassadors to investors, everyone has deep roots within the poker community. That's probably one thing that's a little bit different here. We're not just like a random group of people that are coming into the poker community. Like we're all part of the poker community for decades. So that means we are talking with a lot of people in the poker community literally every day. Like, what do we need to have for you to want to, bring your game to Phenom Poker? And people are showing a lot of interest and a lot of excitement, including high stakes players wanting to come and play on the site. In fact, we just officially announced a new ambassador. By the time this podcast goes out, it'll already be public, so I might as well mention. I was having dinner with Ben Heath last night, who's just joined our ambassador group. I know you interviewed him on your podcast at some point. I don't know when, but Like it's guys like that who are out there playing the high stakes games. He's playing the highest level tournaments. We're talking to people who are playing, high stakes games, cash all over the world. We're talking to online players, to figure out what we need to do to make the offering very appealing, to the poker community. And I think we've gotten a lot of great feedback, and I think we're moving in that direction.
Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, I'm curious to play on it myself. So, especially if you spread mix. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we're going to
Um,
have over 30 variants at launch, so including the mixed game plays that I play all the time, which are all the circus games: Badesi, Badusi, Razdusi, Drama Haas, um, like whatever you want to play. It's I mean, and we've even had suggestions for stuff that isn't on our launch list, which were, I think Brian Rast said, I want to play Very Crazy Pineapple, and I'm like, well, that wasn't on our list. He's like, well, it's in the game I play, and I'm like, let's add it to the list. What's the rules? So no reason it can't be 50 variants after some time.
all right, cool. Yeah, I mean that's a rare asset to have as well. What else would be something to mention about your site, or that you'd like to mention about your site that makes it different or sets it apart from other sites?
Well, first of all, it's not my site, it's our site. Um, if you're going to play, that means you're an owner too, Dan. Um,
Oh, oh, okay.
but
Our site.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference is the decentralized ownership model. The focus on transparency and security, we think makes Phenom Poker different than traditional sites. Also the technology, we didn't go and buy some out of the box poker platform. We're not licensing some old piece of software. We invested heavily in hiring a world-class development engineering group that's built everything from the ground up, and it's built to be on the most modern tech stack. It's built to interface with smart contract technology on the blockchain. Um, we invested in the design. I think it's been a long time since we had a fresh interface that feels more modern and usable. The beautiful UX I'm a big believer in that, having a tech background. So those are all going to be some of the differences. Obviously, being crypto only is a pretty big difference. People are used to fiat deposits and going through that process. We really like the idea of, your deposit is actually just you interfacing with the smart contract. When you're done playing, the smart contract just settles you out instantly, and then that's it. You don't have any funds on deposit with the site. You don't have to use the site as a bank account, right? It's just you. It's like almost like playing live poker, right? You buy into the table, you play. When you pick your chips up out of the table, you go to the cage, you can get cash. That's your money, right? And we think that that same concept should apply to online. Like why should you have to keep a portion of your bankroll or net worth on deposit somewhere where like with the technology exists that you can just get settled out and like for example, you can bank a tournament for 100K and theoretically have that money the second the tournament or the second you bust out, right? Like or the tournament ends and you're the winner. Like the second that happens, you're getting settled out instantly to your own crypto wallet. Like you can go and spend that money right away. You don't have to like wait to get your hands on your money.
Oh, that's really nice. I've had, and many others have had problems with cashing out money on the sites. So
I
yeah,
mean,
that's pretty
I
nice.
I don't know. I literally don't know anybody that has like never had an issue depositing withdrawing from a site. And I think it's one of the biggest bottlenecks of online poker.
And I guess there's not going to be too many. I know there's. I've heard that there's low transaction fees as well, because another problem is that transaction fee. Sometimes there can be like really big fees and things like that.
Yeah, so your transaction fee to like put money on a table is the highest right now. Actually, Polygon just pushed an update recently, um, and the transaction fee was half a penny. Most recently, when I've done Polygon transactions, I'm seeing them at 0.002, so 2/10 of 1 penny to do a transaction, and that's depositing. When you get settled out, it's zero for you because the site is the one pushing that transaction, right? So when you deposit,
Oh, really?
you in your wallet, you sign that Polygon transaction, you're going to pay 2/10 of 1 penny. When you cash out, you're just going to receive, and there's zero. There's zero withdrawal fees. So to you, the user. So all in all, it just and this is the appeal of blockchain technology, right? Because it's we've all seen it, right? Like trying to wire money internationally, trying to move money. Like me as someone who travels internationally a lot, I employ people internationally. I'm always trying to figure out how to convert currencies. And does Wise work in your country? Does PayPal work in your country? Does Payoneer work in your country? What are the fees? What is the conversion fees? What are the transfer fees? It's just like they're just trying to rake the traditional banking system's trying to rake you constantly, right? And it's expensive to move money anywhere. And say, the sites have the same problems, right? They want to get money on, but banks one day will work with them, the next day they won't. They have to find specialized banks who are willing to work with the online gambling industry. One of the big sites out there, I heard, pays 6% on their deposits. They have to pay 6%. So now they have to figure out how to
Oh,
recoup
really?
that money before they can make money. Yeah, and so a lot of the support burden related to depositing and withdrawing on the traditional sites are going into um, people to assist with deposit and withdrawals. And a lot of times those people aren't even working directly for the site. We've all seen it, right? You go into live chat or you call and now you're speaking with someone foreign who doesn't seem like they really have any control, or they all they can do is like offer you some scripted response, and you have to move like several levels up to get someone who can actually help you. I've experienced that many times, and it's
Yeah, I've
incredibly
experienced that
frustrating
too.
because you're like, I just gave you guys my money, right? Like, where is my money? Why can't I use my own money? Same thing with like, people sometimes depositing is a whole lot easier than withdrawing, right? That doesn't seem right to me, right? Like, why are you so quick to take my money? But then I win and I'm ready to, get my money. Now it's very difficult to get my hands on my own money. I mean, that's a very frustrating experience for anybody. Um, so one of the core ideas behind Phenom Poker is like, how can we just eliminate that altogether? I think the technology exists where these things should not really be problems anymore. There is technology out there that solves this. Use it. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make use of the technology that we think will result in a better, cheaper, um, quicker experience.
I have a question. Are you going to be doing anything to attract fish or give? I mean, VIPs. I usually prefer to call recreational players.
There
Are
you
you going to
go.
do anything in particular to like one idea that I personally liked was this idea of giving more rake back to VIPs. I think GG actually does do something like that, or like even clubs were hosted by VIPs, so that the VIPs would basically have more money. It gives some incentive to play a bit more. Are you doing anything along those lines?
Okay, so yes, we are doing a multitude of things to attract a wide variety of players, and that includes anyone from low stakes or recreational players to professional level players. The idea is to make the site attractive and appealing to virtually anybody. Um, we are not taking the GG approach, which is like if you read through like the GG poker reward system, you'll see language in there that says something like, "Oh, well, we reserve the right to change your multiplier based on how you play," kind of thing, which is like the super legal friendly way to say, if you're a winning player, we're just going to reward you less, right? And I, for one, don't necessarily agree with that approach. I was a high volume online player, and um, we all remember the days when the online rewards were really, really nice, and you could, play high volumes, earn status, earn a lot of points, and get rewarded for being a very loyal high volume customer. And those rewards have since gotten worse and worse over time. And now, this site in particular is taking the approach of, if you're a winning player, we're just like, we don't really care to reward you that much. Like we want to reward the recreational players, or at our discretion, we're going to give more rewards to this person versus you, even if you might play the same amount. I don't necessarily think that that's the best way to go about that. I think people want to play poker, like whether you're a professional or you're a recreational or you're somewhere in between. I think people want to play the game we all love. There's 100 million people worldwide that love that like to play this game in some way, shape, or form. So I think focusing on making the platform, usable, desirable, having a wide array of games available, and incentivizing all types of players to get rewarded based on how much you play, I think is enough, and we'll see a lot of players of different types in good games. And there'll be some not so good games. That's just the nature of it, right? Like when I was coming up in poker, you know, I was taught that one of the most valuable skill sets you can have is game selection. I don't think that's changed today. Like you can go choose to play in like a field of world beaters. If that's what you want to do, or you can choose to find the game that you can beat. And I think that's not a broken system. I don't think.